welcome to the first experiment video that we're doing. Very close to the end of FM19. This is an experiment I have intended on doing for quite some time. Only just getting around to doing it now. It's definitely one I've been very interested in since Kevin AKA Lollujo brought out his creative club Holme. As you can see, rocking a third kit. Beautiful. Powell on the back. Oh, it's a beautiful jersey. No longer on sale, unfortunately. I could have put the link in had I recorded this a couple of days earlier. But this is going to be coming out on Thursday. So it'll be 4 days since you were able to buy them last. Or since the 5 days? I think it went off sale on 40. Regardless, here we are to see what would happen with Holme if Kevin never existed. Because Mr. Lollujo, Kevin Chapman, is not in this database. He has no control over what Holme does this time. So we're going to see for ourselves what would happen if Kev wasn't around. So for everyone who says he bankrupts all the clubs he manages, maybe Holme are destined to go bankrupt. We'll soon find out. I do have the editor on, so we can have a look to see the finances and whatnot. So anybody who's been watching his series will know that they started semi-professional, bank balance of 2,970. What is it? I've written euros. Maybe I should change it to pounds. I should probably change it to pounds, shouldn't I? I'll change it to pounds for the next part of the video because it's not going to make that much of a difference. But they start off with a bank balance of 2,975 euros and no transfer budget because they're in the 8th tier of football, isn't it? The Evo Stick Premier. Transfer balance of nothing and a wage budget of 372 euro. My bank balance. God, I need money. Playing Homewood, 633 capacity, because that is what that's the amount of people that live in Holme. So, as he pointed out, this is being played on a field in a housing estate. So essentially, we're just taking what he had when he started and seeing what happens. We do have different players, however. So we don't have Sir Mick Powell, Shane Phillips, Morris, Harris. They were the big five, weren't they? Is there anyone that I'm forgetting? No, big five? Mick Powell, Shane Phillips, Morris, Harris. Who else was there? Was it just those four? I think, yeah, in the first season, that was the four main players. But as you can see, we have this squad completely different to the one that he had. So we're going to have a look to see who the highest current ability and potential players are for Holme in this universe. So it's Ted James has the highest current ability. Definitely going to be captain with 18. Obviously he's never played before. But he looks, for this level, he's unambitious. But he looks decent. And he has the highest potential as well. Their goalkeeper has the second highest potential. So that's nice to know. Okay, there's literally nobody in the under 23s. Okay. He has a potential of 42 for a grade out player. That is not bad. In the under 18s, Lloyd Hardy has 33 and Kenny Hammond and George McCarthy. So two strikers and a winger. Who Holme didn't like wingers back then. The three of them have 33 current ability, but in terms of potential ability, David Crosby with 125 potential. Ooh, that's a lot of reds into technical. He can pass the ball though, so that's good. Good teamwork, good vision. He's definitely a playmaker. So, as you'll know, in the Evo-Stick Northern Premier League Division 1 East, it took 2 seasons for Kev to get them promoted. They have the best striker in the league, and also odds on to get relegated. So we are going to jump ahead 1 season and see where they finished. They should finish, in theory, up around mid-table-ish, I want to say. They should be a mid-table team. I don't know will they be, but we're going to find out. 400 to 1, that's mad odds. I'm pretty sure when Kev did this, the odds weren't that stacked against them. In this universe, it's a bit it is a bit different. So this is going to be interesting to see how Holme get on without Kev. So I'll see you guys in just a second for that. Alright fellas, we have now jumped ahead 1 full year, and we're going to check to see how Holme have gotten on. Okay, I can see there they've been relegated to the United Counties Premier. Still okay financially. New key player of Mitchell Evans, Jason Parr. I want to say he was the hot prospect before as well. Still playing at Homewood, so that's not changed. 19th, oh, that's unfortunate. Did they make any transfers? Because we've already... Okay. Yes, they did. Do we recognise any of these players? Richie Brannigan? I want to say Kev signed him as well. Maybe? But he's definitely not a terrible goalkeeper, at least anyway. He has... Okay. He's played in the conference, or the Vanarama National, a couple of times, 12 times. 13 times, sorry, for Macclesfield. So he's not terrible. He's played in League 2 for Barry. Rest in peace, Barry. But that's played 48 and conceded 20, or played 28, conceded 46. So that's Josh Behemoth wasn't around for very long. Came in August, left in April. Non-league is a fun time, it would seem. So let's have a look and see how they got on. 2 points. They were relegated by 2 points. Oh, that's depressing. Julian Watts, were you... We need to actually go to here, go to managers. Julian Watts is the man that was in charge. 9 wins, 9 draws, 24 defeats. That's sad. This is the first team. It is okay. Richie Brannigan is on his way to Highworth. Ooh. Highest current ability is 45. Highest potential ability is still David Crosby with 125. His potential has gone down, I want to say. Played 20 games last season, scored 1 goal. Playing the youth. Do actually have players in under 23s. Is 12 current ability, 31 potential. Don't think he's going to make it. Patrick Tyler has 82. So the potential of a lot of these players is quite low. But they do have a player with 118 potential in the reserves. 16-year-old fullback. He played 3 times last season. Interesting. Has there been any... I never changed the finances. Alright, so they have a bank balance of 37,000 and a wage budget of 443. So they're been relegated, but things are increasing. So that's definitely a plus. They're getting more finance, they have more money in the bank. Things don't look horrendous. Because it's 30th of June, there hasn't been any transfers happen just yet. But it'd be interesting to see, can they get promoted at the first time of asking? I would assume, yeah, they're favourites to get promoted. Richie Brannigan continues to be... Not continues. He's definitely the star player. Pair is one of the best centre-backs in the league. Evans and Cox make up half the midfield and both strikers. Lewis Manor and Lloyd Hardy. Lloyd Hardy, 17-year-old Lloyd Hardy. 9 goals last season. So they definitely have potential in the club. So they've 6 players in the best 11 for this league. So it should be fairly simple for them to get up. To go back into the Evo Stick Premier National Division South. Oh, what was it? What was the name of the league? Evo Stick Northern Premier League Division 1 East. Oh, that's a mouthful. So already we can see that Kev did do better than an AI manager with Holme. With the resources he had, finances, all of that good stuff. Kev has proven, after one season at least, that the way he manages is better because he got them to stay in the division, if nothing else. So they're not going to be on the same path right now because he got them promoted the season after. So they need to win promotion this season to get back up. So, interesting. No continental competitions. That's a bit disappointing. Have they won any trophies? No. So there's not been any trophies, but there has. Ronnie Doolin was appointed captain, played 23 games. The only 23 games of his career. He was appointed as vice captain and then appointed as captain. And then Jez Shepherd and Lewis Manor got appointed vice captains because Jez Shepherd went off to 3 bridges. 1 bridge is probably enough, but okay. So we'll keep an eye on this because I want to see how everything goes from a season ticket's €88 with 40 season ticket holders. Ooh. The average ticket price is €7. Could pop down for the crack. Anthony Cox is a club or a favourite personnel for the club, which is they've already got one. That is interesting. I didn't expect one to appear quite so soon. Perfect pitch. That is, as would be expected, perfect. They've pretty meh everything else. It's like basic corporate facilities. It looks like they haven't updated any of the facilities yet, but to be fair, we have seen facilities, finances. You wouldn't want to be spending any money on finances just yet, or not finances, but any facilities just yet. But it'd be interesting to see how they get on in the current United Counties division that they're in. But we are going to jump ahead now for the next part of this video. We're going to jump ahead 3 years. Is it 3? Did I do 3 years or did I do 5? I think it was 3 years. I think we're jumping ahead 3 years. Yeah, it's 3 years. I've jumped ahead a bit of time. I have a couple of saves done already for it, just so I could, speed up the process a little bit. So we're going to jump ahead 3 years and see how they get on in the next 3 years. So it'll be 2022 when we're back, but we're going to go back to the 2019-20 season and see, is it a case that Holme sit in the United Counties Premier Division for a season or two, or do they instantly come back up, and then how quickly can they climb the ladder to the National Premier, or even get into League One or to League Two? How quickly will that happen, or will they be stuck playing conference football in the National Premier for forever, basically, and just further proof that Kev is capable of taking the club from the bottom to the top? Because anybody who's watching the series will know he's won the league 4 years in a row, 3 or 4 years in a row now. 3 years? 4 years? So, how long would it take for this home to win the Champions League? Probably a very long time, I would say, based purely on the fact they got relegated in the very first season. But we will be back in just a second to see how they get on in the next 3 years. Alright, fellas, we are back now for the third and final part of this video. There will be more, because we're going to go and see how far into the future we can go. I want to see, can we get home into the Premier League just by watching their progress through the years. As you can see, the United Counties Premier Division, they did win it by 9 points, not by as much as I was expecting. They did score significantly more goals than everyone else. The next closest had 69, 11 goals in the difference. Did concede 2 more, but still, that is home score plenty of goals, it would seem. So once they got promoted, they then went and finished 7th in the EvoStick Northern Premier. So, One East. Where? 7th, okay. Wait, what? Oh yeah, because I selected it. Okay, never mind. I was like, how has this happened? So they 15 wins, 13 draws, 10 defeats, 58 points. They weren't too far from. Actually, is that 1 point outside of the playoffs? Or do they make the playoffs? I'm a little confused. 20. Yes, this is the one. So did they make the playoffs? No, but they made it to the Build Base FAV's final and got beaten by Plymouth Argyle's reserves. That's sad. We actually haven't. That's something we haven't been doing. We haven't been looking to see how they're getting on in the cups. Knocked out of the FA Trophy in the preliminary round by Hemel Hempstead, club I managed in my Director of Football Non-League to Legend series. If you're not watching my Director of Football Non-League to Legend series, you should. It's interesting. My Hungry for Success series that came out yesterday, actually, when this video comes out. This video will come out yesterday. Big changes. Big changes. Getting back to this, got knocked out in the United Counties League Cup in the 3rd round by Boston Town. That would be a rivalry, I assume. And then they lost in the Bill Base FA Vase quarterfinal to Stowmarket, but had a very good run in the United Premier, or United Counties Premier. Some of these names are a little bit difficult to say, if I'm completely honest. Being of Irish descent, some of the English names are a little hard to say. Jamie Griffiths went on an absolute tear. 402 people showed up to the game against Enfield, and that was at the start of the season. Played against a street. Oh, fair enough. That's I'd be disappointed to make it to the quarterfinal and lose 1-0, but still, they're doing bits. Back into the EvoStick Northern Premier League division. Started off very poorly indeed. 3 defeats in the first 3. Got knocked out of the FA Cup in the preliminary round, and knocked out of the United Counties League Cup 3rd round by Peterborough NS. Northern Star. Ooh, I like that name. Beat Workshop in the Build-Based FA Cup third round in a replay. That's quite the name. How far? This is the season they finished runner-up. Yeah, they lost to Plymouth Argyle reserves. Had a bit of a topped and tailed with defeats, but in the middle of the season went unbeaten. Jordan Graham smashing them in. So it seems that they had Jimmy Griffiths didn't really score too many goals by the looks of it. But they had they lost to Welling as well. So that's a good friendly to have against Welling. In 21-22, which is the current season, that season's just finished. Still in the Evo stick, but they're in the Northern Premier this time. Okay. So they finished 7th again. Very interesting. So where are they expected to finish this year? They're not in this division this year. Okay. We need to... This is slightly confusing. But this is lower league. So what do you expect other than slight confusion? So how far did they make it in the cups this year? The FA Cup second qualifying round knocked out by Bath. In the Build-Based FA Trophy first qualifying round knocked out by Worcester. So far, so good. So far we're doing well. We're still in the IntoRowZ Dudes in League Cup. Made it to the semi-finals, got beaten by Ashton United. And that was the end of that. Don't know what I did there. Where is the FAVs? The one that... They're not participating in that one? Okay, they didn't play in that one this year. So, Evo Stick Northern Premier this year. Yeah. Yep. They are there. Expected to finish 5th this time around. And they have Jordan Graham. Is that the Jordan Graham I had at... Yep, this is the Jordan Graham that played for me in... at Hemel Hempstead. So, Evo Stick Northern Premier League Division 1 East. Did they get promoted last year? No. But they didn't play in this division last year. I'm slightly confused by the... I shouldn't have gone looking, because now I look like a fool. You're not here either. Okay. No, now we're to combined counties. Not here either. Oh god, I shouldn't have pressed those buttons so many times. Right, did they win the league last season? Oh, they did. Oh, they did. They won the Evo Stick Northern Premier League Division 1 East. 5 defeats all season. That's quite good. They got beaten by New Zealand side, West Auckland. 83 points. So they won it by 4 points. Ooh. So for the upcoming season, FC Romania. There is some crazy... Hazen Yettinger down here. Oh my god. There are some crazy names in the in these divisions. I love it. So yeah, next season they play in the Evo Stick Northern Premier League against Gainsborough Trinity. Ooh. So to be fair, they're actually not that far. They're one promotion away from being in the Northern Premier Division North or South. So that's interesting. There is some fairly interesting names in this division. Like Radcliffe, I've heard of them. And Whitby Town, Workington, Ashton United, Boston. I didn't even spot Boston. Chorley, Droylston. They're not the biggest teams in the world, but there is some size. These big teams haven't been really. Hungerford Town are down here. Nuneaton Borough. This is another one of the Premier teams. Is there any? Cambridge City are a big enough team. Farnborough, Gloucester, Hednesford Town, Metropolitan Police. You know, you don't want to mess with them. Salisbury, Weymouth. Any of your Scooter fans, Weymouth are his stream save. Very interesting. Definitely worth a watch if you haven't already. Should go follow him. He's recently joined FM Base. Just putting it out there. Staines are down here as well. I feel like this is going down a division. Gosport. Redditch. So yeah, it looks like Holme are doing relatively well, but the trajectory isn't as good as when they had Kevin Church. So we're going to look at the highest current ability player. What we should do actually is just add everybody, because that makes life that little bit easier. So Luke Burgess is a attacking midfielder slash winger slash central midfielder, ex-Wigan player. So he's good. He played for Wigan. You know, played 2 games in League One for Wigan. So Wigan are still in League One. No, we were in the Championship when they started. That's not good. Okay, but he played 26 games, scored 4 goals last season. Pretty meh average rating, but still got promoted. 1 player of the match. You know, that's progress. Progress is key. And we are going to look at the highest potential. Is a 26-year-old striker. I'm pretty sure Cash gets a striker. He has 34 goals or 34 goals. You wish. 34 games and 12 goals. Was playing regularly for Wycombe in League 2 and League 1 the season before. So this guy has pedigree. And he was in 2016-17. He was playing in League 2 for Weymouth or Wycombe as well. Why do I keep saying Weymouth? For Wycombe as well. 29 games, 10 goals. Not too shabby. But he he does have previous. He's been quite good. It's been bang average in League 1 and League 2. But bang average League 1, League 2 player in the Evo Stick Northern Premier League would be a good player. And is there any crazy transfers that have been made? Luke Burgess, as we saw. Still no money spent, but you wouldn't expect. They sold the player for money. Mike Gibbons played 87 games and scored 12 goals from right back. He scored 8 goals in the United Counties Premier for Holme from right back. So it's not too bad. And then the season after, in the Northern Premier, scored 4 goals. And MK McDonald's, which is interesting because in Kev's home save, the It's Coming Home, they're sharing a stadium with McDonald's, but now they're selling fullbacks to them. They didn't sell any players, didn't buy any players. I don't think they'd even have the finances to buy a player or sell a player. But what we're going to do now is have a quick look at the finances and see how they're getting on. So they're in debt. That's not good. €43,500 in debt, with a transfer budget of €7,000 and a wage budget of $62.19. They're definitely moving up in the world. Interesting that they've lost money. Have they upgraded facility? But they still have the same stadium. Have they upgraded facilities? Where was it last time? Relegated, point captain. United Counties League Premier Division champions, promoted. Bill Bass FA Cup phase runner up. Appointed Gibbons as captain, and then when he left, Nicky Walker. So there's not been any changes yet. Modern day, Lloyd Hardy has the most goals for them, capped at under 20 level for Scotland. 44 goals in 134 games. Could he be the new Mick Powell? Is he going to stay with them forever? He's also played the most games for them. Youngest goal scorer, Mike Gibbons at 16 years and 55 days. Blooding him in young. Julian Watts still in charge. Seems to be doing a good job. One game away from celebrating his 200th. Been in charge for 1,445 days. Only 52 defeats, a 52% win percentage. They've won 2 leagues, 2 promotions and relegated once. Not won a cup yet, but still early days. We're only 5 years in, is it? Yeah, 4 or 5 years into the future present. Into the present future. But they have, they've released players as well. I didn't check the released. I didn't think that they'd be, I suppose actually it kind of makes sense that they'd release players. They were both this season. Nicky Bull retired to become a manager. He's not that good. He's proving he's not that good. And Dan Hasted retired to be a scout. Again, not very good. But this is an issue that FM has regardless. A player retires, they're not that good. There's very, very rarely you'll see a player retire and be even remotely adequate as a scout, manager, physio, whatever job they take on. They're never that good. But that'll do it for this episode 1 of the Where Would Home Be If Kev Never Existed. Probably should think of a better name than that. If you've enjoyed, leave a comment down below to let me know what you think of this, how Home are getting on without Kev. I'm surprised I'm not surprised they got relegated, but I'm surprised that they bounced back so quickly and have had, it feels like they've progressed quite nicely. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think that, would you say Kev has done a better job with them within this time period? Because obviously he's done a better job now, because he's 30 something years into the future and he's won the Premier League multiple times, and he's gotten into the Champions League. Like, at this stage, Homer probably wouldn't even consider the Champions League a thing. Like, obviously they know it exists, but they probably never think they're going to be playing in it. But yeah, do leave a like, comment and subscribe. I love all of you, and I will see you in the next one.